Recognize when it's time to say no. The first step toward reclaiming your peace and breaking free from negativity is recognizing when it's time to say no. Many people live their lives on autopilot, saying yes to situations, people, or obligations out of fear, guilt, or the desire to please others. They convince themselves that refusing is selfish, rude, or unnecessary, while in reality, every time you say yes when your heart is saying no, you give away your energy, your time, and your inner peace. Spiritual awakening teaches that your peace is sacred, and protecting it is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Recognizing when to say no starts with awareness. Pay attention to your energy and emotions. Notice the tasks, commitments, or relationships that leave you feeling drained, resentful, or anxious. These are signals that your boundaries are being crossed or that you are living out of alignment with your true self. When you become aware of these patterns, you gain clarity about what no longer serves your highest good. Affirmations like, "I honor my boundaries and protect my peace," help to strengthen this awareness and prepare your mind to make conscious, empowered choices. It's also important to understand that saying no does not require justification or apology. You do not need to explain your choices to anyone. Your first loyalty must always be to your well-being. Saying no is a declaration that your time, energy, and emotional health are valuable, and that you will not allow them to be compromised. This mindset is empowering because it shifts your focus from external validation to internal alignment. The more you practice saying no when needed, the more natural and confident it becomes. Spiritual awakening emphasizes that many people cling to habits, relationships, or situations long after they have stopped serving them. Fear of change, uncertainty, or judgment often keeps them trapped. By recognizing these patterns and consciously choosing to break free, you reclaim control over your life. Saying no is the first step in this liberation. It is an act of courage, a refusal to compromise your peace for the sake of convenience, obligation, or approval. Choosing to say no also opens space for what truly matters. When you stop overcommitting and allowing negativity to dominate your energy, you create room for joy, growth, and alignment with your higher purpose. Life begins to flow more naturally when you honor your limits and focus on what nourishes your spirit. Affirm, "I choose what serves me and release what drains me," as a daily reminder that peace is not found in external circumstances, but in conscious, empowered choices. Ultimately, recognizing when it's time to say no is a spiritual practice. It requires self-awareness, honesty, and the courage to prioritize your well-being over external expectations. By learning to honor your own needs, you protect your energy, strengthen your resilience, and reclaim the peace that is your birthright. Saying no is not just a decision. It is a declaration of freedom, a commitment to yourself, and the first step toward living a life aligned with your truth. Release toxic relationships and influences. Reclaiming your peace begins with recognizing the people, habits, and influences that drain your energy and disrupt your inner balance. Toxic relationships, whether with friends, family, colleagues, or partners, can leave you feeling exhausted, unappreciated, or constantly on edge. These relationships may involve manipulation, criticism, control, or emotional neglect, and often we stay in them because of fear, obligation, or a hope that things will change. Spiritual awakening teaches that releasing what no longer serves you is not an act of cruelty, but an act of self-respect and self-preservation. By affirming, "I release anything or anyone that no longer aligns with my growth and peace," you empower yourself to prioritize your emotional well-being over external expectations. Toxicity is not always obvious. Sometimes it appears subtly through passive-aggressive behavior, constant negativity, or unrealistic demands on your time and energy. Other times, it is more overt, with criticism, manipulation, or outright hostility. Regardless of the form it takes, the effect is the same. It diminishes your capacity for joy, clouds your clarity, and blocks your spiritual growth. By learning to recognize these patterns, you take the first step toward liberation. Awareness is the foundation of change. It allows you to see clearly what needs to be removed from your life. Releasing toxicity is not a sign of weakness or abandonment. It is an act of courage. It requires honesty, self-compassion, and the understanding that your peace is priceless. Often people fear rejection, judgment, or confrontation, but holding on to harmful connections only prolongs suffering. Spiritual awakening reminds us that letting go creates space for higher energy, healthier relationships, and personal growth. Saying no to toxicity does not close doors unnecessarily. It clears the path for opportunities, connections, and experiences that truly align with your purpose. In addition to relationships, influences such as environments, habits, and media consumption can also be toxic. A cluttered or chaotic environment, excessive exposure to negative news, or habitual self-criticism can subtly drain your energy. By releasing these influences, you protect your mental and emotional space. Surround yourself with uplifting content, supportive people, and environments that inspire calm, creativity, and joy. Affirm, I choose energy, positivity, and peace in every aspect of my life. To reinforce the habit of consciously curating what you allow into your inner world. Letting go also involves forgiving, not for the sake of others, but for your own freedom. Holding on to anger, resentment, or grudges ties you to the past and prevents you from experiencing peace in the present. Spiritual practice teaches that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It releases emotional weight and allows your energy to flow freely. By choosing to release toxic relationships and influences, you step into empowerment, reclaim your peace, and create a life that reflects your highest self. Ultimately, releasing toxicity is a transformative spiritual act. It protects your energy, strengthens your self-worth, and opens space for positivity, growth, and fulfillment. Every conscious decision to let go is a step toward freedom, joy, and emotional liberation. By prioritizing your well-being and aligning with what nourishes your soul, you take control of your life and move closer to the peace and empowerment that are your birthright. Set clear boundaries with confidence. Once you recognize what no longer serves you and release toxic relationships and influences, the next step in reclaiming your peace is setting clear, confident boundaries. Boundaries are essential for protecting your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. They act as a framework for how you allow others to treat you and how you choose to engage with the world. Spiritual awakening teaches that setting boundaries is not an act of arrogance or selfishness. It is an act of self-respect, self-love, and personal empowerment. By affirming, I set clear boundaries and honor my needs with confidence, you reinforce your commitment to living a life aligned with your inner truth. Setting boundaries begins with self-awareness. You must first understand your values, limits, and needs. What situations make you feel drained, anxious, or disrespected? What behaviors, words, or actions are unacceptable to you? Recognizing these factors allows you to define your boundaries clearly and assertively. Without this awareness, it is easy to be swayed by the expectations of others or to compromise your peace repeatedly. Boundaries are the lines that distinguish where your energy ends and where others' influence begins. They protect the sacred space of your mind, heart, and soul. Confidence is key when setting boundaries. Often people fear saying no or enforcing limits because they worry about rejection, conflict, or being perceived as difficult. Spiritual practice encourages the understanding that your peace is worth the discomfort of asserting yourself. Boundaries are a gift to both yourself and others. They communicate honesty, respect, and clarity. By maintaining confidence in your boundaries, you demonstrate to others that you value yourself and your well-being, which inspires them to respect you in return. Boundaries are not rigid walls. They are flexible tools for maintaining balance and alignment. You can adapt your boundaries as your life evolves, but the principle remains. Never compromise your peace for temporary approval or comfort. For example, you might set limits on how much time you spend on draining activities, how you allow people to speak to you, or what responsibilities you take on. Affirm, I honor my boundaries and protect my energy while remaining compassionate and kind. To maintain both firmness and grace in your interactions. Another crucial aspect of boundaries is emotional detachment. Setting limits does not mean cutting off empathy, care, or love. It means not absorbing others' negativity or taking responsibility for their emotions. Spiritual awakening teaches that your energy is sacred, and you are only responsible for your actions, thoughts, and choices. Letting go of the need to control or fix others allows you to honor your boundaries fully and preserve your peace. Ultimately, setting clear boundaries with confidence is a cornerstone of emotional and spiritual freedom. It empowers you to engage with life from a place of strength rather than fear, to honor your needs without guilt, and to protect your inner peace from unnecessary disruption. Boundaries are the tools that allow you to live authentically, create healthy relationships, and reclaim the serenity that is your birthright. By consciously defining and defending your limits, you move closer to a life of balance, empowerment, and unwavering inner calm. Let go of past hurts and resentments. One of the most powerful steps in reclaiming your peace is learning to let go of past hurts and resentments. Carrying emotional baggage from past experiences, mistakes, or relationships weighs heavily on your mind, body, and spirit. It clouds your judgment, affects your energy, and keeps you tethered to situations that no longer exist. Spiritual awakening teaches that holding on to anger, regret, or resentment is like gripping hot coal. It only burns you, not the person who caused the pain. By affirming, "I release the past and allow myself to heal," you consciously choose freedom over suffering and peace over conflict. Letting go begins with acknowledging your pain without judgment. Often, people suppress their emotions or pretend they no longer feel hurt, but unresolved emotions continue to influence thoughts, behaviors, and decisions. By facing your feelings honestly, you validate your experience and empower yourself to heal. Spiritual awareness encourages self-compassion in this process. You are not weak for feeling hurt, and you are not failing by releasing the pain. Recognizing the impact of past wounds is the first step toward transforming them into lessons that foster growth and resilience. Forgiveness is a central part of this release. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful actions or forgetting the pain. It means freeing yourself from the hold that the past has over you. When you forgive, you shift your energy from resentment to empowerment. Affirm, "I forgive myself and others to reclaim my peace and move forward with clarity and love." This practice is a gift to your emotional and spiritual well-being, allowing your energy to flow freely rather than being trapped in cycles of anger, bitterness, or regret. Letting go also involves releasing attachment to outcomes and expectations tied to past experiences. Holding on often comes from a desire for justice, apology, or validation, which may never arrive. Spiritual awakening teaches that peace comes from within, not from external circumstances. By detaching from the need for acknowledgement or revenge, you reclaim control over your emotional state. This empowers you to focus on the present moment, where true healing and growth occur. Healing the past requires patience and consistent effort. Daily practices such as meditation, journaling, affirmations, and mindful reflection reinforce the process of letting go. Each time you consciously release a thought, memory, or emotion that no longer serves you, you create space for joy, clarity, and inner peace. Affirm, "With every breath, I release what no longer serves me and welcome calm, love, and clarity into my life." Ultimately, letting go of past hurts and resentments is not just about freedom from pain. It is about reclaiming your life. It allows you to live fully in the present, unburdened by past experiences, and open to new opportunities for joy, connection, and growth. By releasing the emotional weight of yesterday, you align yourself with your higher self, creating space for peace, empowerment, and spiritual awakening. The moment you let go, you reclaim the serenity and balance that are your birthright, proving that peace is always attainable when you choose to release what no longer serves you. Reconnect with your inner self. Reclaiming your peace and breaking free from negativity requires more than releasing toxic influences and setting boundaries. It requires reconnecting with your inner self. In the chaos of daily life, many people lose touch with their true essence, becoming distracted by external pressures, expectations, and constant demands. Spiritual awakening teaches that your inner self is the source of wisdom, strength, and peace. By taking time to reconnect with this part of you, you rediscover your authenticity, clarify your purpose, and align with a life of fulfillment. Affirm daily, I reconnect with my inner self and honor my truth. This simple yet profound practice anchors you in calm and clarity amidst the noise of the world. Reconnecting with your inner self begins with reflection and self-awareness. Ask yourself, what truly brings me joy? What values guide my decisions? What thoughts and emotions dominate my mind? By answering these questions honestly, you gain insight into your authentic needs and desires. Spiritual practice encourages turning inward through meditation, journaling, or quiet contemplation. These practices help you observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing you to distinguish between the ego-driven reactions of the mind and the intuitive guidance of your soul. Listening to your intuition is a critical part of reconnecting with yourself. Your inner voice knows what is right for you, even when external circumstances seem uncertain. Spiritual awakening emphasizes trust in this inner wisdom. When faced with decisions or challenges, pause and ask, what choice aligns with my peace and highest good? By following the guidance of your inner self, you make decisions that preserve your energy, enhance your happiness, and support your spiritual growth. Reconnecting also involves nurturing your inner world, just as the body needs food, the mind needs positive input, and the soul needs nourishment. Engage in activities that uplift you, spending time in nature, creating art, reading inspiring material, or practicing gratitude. These actions strengthen your connection with your inner self, calm your mind, and elevate your energy. Affirm, I nurture my mind, body, and soul, creating harmony and inner peace. Healing and growth come naturally when you prioritize this inner connection. By regularly turning inward, you become less dependent on external validation and more resilient to life's challenges. You learn to respond rather than react, to act from clarity rather than fear, and to cultivate joy independent of circumstances. This deep alignment with yourself is the foundation of lasting peace and empowerment. Ultimately, reconnecting with your inner self is a journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. It allows you to release dependency on what drains you, embrace your authenticity, and live in alignment with your highest truth. By listening, reflecting, and nurturing your inner world, you create a life where peace, clarity, and joy flow naturally. This reconnection is the cornerstone of reclaiming your power, proving that your greatest source of strength and serenity has always been within you. Embrace freedom and personal empowerment. The final step in reclaiming your peace and breaking free is embracing your freedom and personal empowerment. After recognizing when to say no, releasing toxic influences, setting boundaries, letting go of past pain, and reconnecting with your inner self, it is time to step fully into your power. Spiritual awakening teaches that true peace is not given by others or found in circumstances. It is claimed through conscious choice, courage, and alignment with your highest self. By affirming, I embrace my freedom, honor my peace, and live empowered every day, you declare that your happiness and serenity are non-negotiable. Embracing freedom begins with acknowledging that you are responsible for your life. No one else controls your emotions, choices, or energy unless you allow them to. Personal empowerment comes from this recognition. You have the ability to choose your responses, your environment, and your focus at all times. By taking full responsibility for your life, you shift from a mindset of helplessness to one of proactive creation. Every choice, every action, and every decision becomes a step toward freedom and peace. Freedom also requires releasing the need for approval and validation from others. Many people remain trapped in circumstances or relationships because they fear judgment, rejection, or conflict. Spiritual awakening teaches that when you prioritize your inner peace over external opinions, you reclaim control over your energy. Saying no when necessary, walking away from what no longer serves you, and choosing yourself first are acts of empowerment, that strengthen your confidence and sense of self-worth. Affirm, I release the need for approval and trust my inner guidance to lead me to peace. Personal empowerment also involves trusting yourself and your intuition. Life will continue to present challenges, opportunities, and decisions, but by aligning with your inner wisdom, you navigate them with clarity and confidence. Empowerment comes from knowing that you have the tools, resilience, and insight to handle anything that arises. By affirming your capability and trusting your instincts, you create a sense of stability and security within, regardless of external circumstances. Furthermore, embracing freedom includes actively shaping your life in alignment with your values and purpose. It is not passive. It requires consistent, deliberate actions toward growth, joy, and fulfillment. Whether it is pursuing passions, nurturing meaningful relationships, or engaging in spiritual practice, empowered choices reinforce your sovereignty over your life. Every action taken from a place of clarity and alignment strengthens your freedom and expands your capacity for peace. Ultimately, embracing freedom and personal empowerment is about living authentically, unapologetically, and in alignment with your highest self. It is about refusing to surrender your energy to negativity, fear, or obligation, and choosing to honor your needs, desires, and truth. When you embrace this power, you cultivate a life of serenity, confidence, and fulfillment. Peace becomes not a fleeting state, but a natural expression of your empowered being, proving that liberation and joy are always available when you claim them consciously. As we reach the conclusion of this journey, one truth becomes crystal clear. Your peace is non-negotiable, and reclaiming it is both your right and your responsibility. Life will always present challenges, pressures, and expectations, but spiritual awakening teaches that your inner calm and happiness are not dictated by external circumstances. They are created from within. By recognizing when to say no, releasing toxic influences, setting boundaries, letting go of past hurts, reconnecting with your inner self, and embracing freedom and personal empowerment, you step fully into a life of balance, clarity, and serenity. The first step in this transformation is awareness. Recognizing when something no longer serves you, whether it is a relationship, habit, or commitment, is the foundation of liberation. Many people continue to overextend themselves, giving their energy to what drains them while neglecting their own needs. Saying no is not selfish. It is an act of courage and self-respect. By affirming your right to protect your peace, you lay the groundwork for a life that is aligned with your highest self. Releasing toxic relationships and influences is equally crucial. Letting go of negativity, whether in the form of people, environments, or habits, creates space for growth, positivity, and joy. Holding on to what harms you only drains your energy and clouds your clarity. Spiritual awakening teaches that freeing yourself from these burdens allows your life to flow with greater ease, purpose, and harmony. Setting boundaries reinforces your commitment to your own well-being. Boundaries are the framework that protects your energy, clarifies expectations, and fosters respect from others. They allow you to engage with life fully without compromising your peace. Coupled with letting go of past hurts and resentments, boundaries create a strong foundation for emotional resilience, and spiritual freedom. Forgiveness and release do not weaken you. They liberate you, enabling you to move forward with lightness and grace. Reconnecting with your inner self is the heart of true transformation. Your inner voice, intuition, and authentic desires guide you toward choices that honor your truth. By nurturing this connection through reflection, meditation, and self-care, you strengthen your alignment with your higher purpose. Your inner self is the source of wisdom, clarity, and strength that empowers you to navigate life with confidence and serenity. Finally, embracing freedom and personal empowerment completes the journey. Taking responsibility for your life, trusting your intuition, and making choices aligned with your values and purpose allow you to live authentically and unapologetically. Empowerment is not passive. It is the active creation of a life where peace, joy, and fulfillment are natural expressions of your being. In essence, reclaiming your peace is a holistic process. It requires awareness, courage, and consistent practice. But the rewards are immeasurable. A life free from unnecessary suffering, rich in clarity, and deeply aligned with your soul. By committing to these principles, you prove to yourself that happiness, serenity, and empowerment are always within reach. The moment you choose to say no, release what no longer serves you, and honor your inner self, you step into the peace and freedom that you were always meant to experience.